Speaking of world affairs, let's move on over to a crucial world affair in business and immigration law updates. This segment is a presentation of attorney Ramesh Khurana of the Khurana Law Firm. They are located in Gaithersburg, Maryland. On this set, the moderator is attorney Kenneth Haber, also from Maryland. Here, attorney Haber asks attorney Khurana on the arrival in the U.S. and interview with Customs Border Protection. Please note this is part 2 of the 2-part series. Let's join them.
Welcome. This is the Capitol Forum, and with me today we have distinguished Rockville, Maryland attorney Ramesh Khurana. Welcome, Ramesh.
Thank you, Ken.
Ramesh is an immigration attorney, and he's here today to answer some of your questions concerning the immigration issues, and in particular concerning the protection, border protection authorities, and what happens when people are trying to come into the country. Ramesh, can a traveler to the United States be searched at the port of entry?
Oh, yes.
And what happens if the traveler says, no, I don't want to?
Well, when you are coming to the United States and you are knocking at the door to enter somebody's home, this is the home of United States of America. So you are being searched for some reasons, and security reason is one of the concerns, and immigration issues and customs issues, and likewise maybe you are carrying some agriculture products which are prohibited to be brought into the United States. So all these issues are of primary importance to the United States authority, and CBP is the federal agency which is sitting at the door to receive these people and inspect them. If any person says no to the inspection request, then that person will be politely told, sir, either you do it or you take the flight and go back.
I imagine many a mule being somebody who is taking contraband illegally or attempting to take contraband illegally, finds himself facing that alternative.
That's right. Yes.
And sometimes I believe they might have even ingested it in containers.
You know, these kinds of people, they are just waiting for the next flight if they are coming at the airport, or the next vessel. Or if they are coming by road, they are sent back by their cars, go back.
What happens if during the search the customs officer finds that the person is coming to get married?
Well, when you are coming to the United States, the CBP officer who comes in contact with the traveler asks that traveler some basic questions. So one of the questions is, what brings you here to the United States? And the person says that I am a tourist and I am coming here in the United States to go around and see different places of interest. Okay. And then that person is subjected to secondary inspection, and during the secondary inspection they ask that person more questions. So either during the question answer session, the officer comes to know that the purpose of this person coming to the United States is not the tourism, but the purpose is really that this person wants to get married some United States citizen or a person who is a resident of United States. Then probably you are lying, and if you are lying to the CBP officer, it's a very serious issue, because you are violating the immigration laws. And any traveler who is coming to the airport or port of entry and lying, that person can be sent back.
Can they come and say, yeah, I plan on marrying somebody, I plan on marrying a woman who lives here, and I'm going to go back to whatever country I came from, and I'm going to be continuing my business, she's going to be continuing her business? Is there some issue with that?
That's a very good question, Ken. You know, the way you ask this question, whether the person can make a statement that I want to get married and go back. Well, this is fine, but at the same time, look at the intent. The intent of the person has changed. It has become an immigrant intent. And when we are talking about the tourist or B1, B2 visa, that's given only to those people whose intent is non-immigrant. That means there is no potential of them being immigrant. So once the intent changes, you are not entitled for B1, B2. Then if you want to get married, then there is a way to apply for the green card based on the marriage, and you have to obtain your green card while you are sitting in your country, because you cannot jump the queue. You have to wait in the queue. Even the spouses of United States citizens takes about 8 months to 1 year. So you have to wait in the queue. So you are not just coming from nowhere and saying, I'm here in the United States, I got married, adjust my status. Your intent is very important here.
Well, couldn't a person have an intent of going back? He wants to get married, but he's got a business and he can document his business. And she's got a business, she can document her business, but they're not going to give up the businesses. People live on different parts of the country and are married, so why can't they live in different parts of the world if they can document it?
Again, very good argument you have made, Ken, but the question here is, what are the yardsticks to judge the intent of a person? The intent of the person can be easily determined by what the purpose is trying to do, because whether the intent is immigrant or non-immigrant. So burden is very heavy on the person who is coming to the United States. How do you prove your intent? Once you say, I am going to get married, and you are on a tourist visa, that means your intent is immigrant, period.
Is there any way of documenting it before you come over? That you can say, I plan on marrying this lady, I'm going to come back to my own country, and I've got this business, very prosperous business, and I want to come back and apply for change of status later on, but I want to marry you now, and I want the tourist visa because I want to do my honeymoon.
Now, you know, I like your argument. I think you can be very easily a great immigration attorney. If you are on a B1, B2 visa and you want to come here and get married, and then you want to go back after getting married, and you want to stay in the queue and come back when your turn comes. This is what you are saying. Answer is yes. So what you have to do is, you have to go back to the US consulate and make your declaration there. I have got B1, B2 visa, this is the purpose. I know that it's going to take me a year, but I want to go to the United States, get married and come back. And I will wait for my turn, and then you have to give some evidence. How you will be proving that you will be really interested in waiting. Let's say that you are going to a medical school in India, and you have one more year to complete your medical education.
Exactly.
That becomes a good argument. I have to complete my medical education in India, and I am left with just one more year to get my medical degree. So that becomes one reason. Or you are in a job and you say that I have not yet resigned, and I do not intend to resign for one more year because I like this job. At the same time, there is a reason that I want to get married, and my fiancée cannot travel to the my home country. So I want to go to the US and I want to get married. So if the officer is satisfied with this explanation, then it's fine.
So do it beforehand.
Do it beforehand. That way you are making your intent very much clear to the US consulate. This is the purpose I am going. Yes.
Very good, very good. Why is a secondary inspection asked for? Are there any red flags that might trigger a secondary inspection?
Yes. You know, when some simple questions are asked and the person gets nervous, the person is unable to answer those questions satisfactorily, and the officer thinks that more detailed inspection is required. When we say inspection, that means asking more questions. And even the officers, like we said, they can search your briefcase or bags just to make sure what you are carrying in your bags. Sometimes people do carry some kinds of documents which would demonstrate different intent of the person who are coming to the United States. Now, person says, I am just coming here for the tourism purposes, as we said earlier, and this person is basically going to apply for a job here while and going to stay here to change that person's status, if depending upon the circumstances. So that means this person is misrepresenting, And misrepresentation is not tolerated in the United States.
It's actually a crime when it's to government officials.
Yes, so you know, as a defense attorney, you sprinkle your thoughts. I like that. Yes, so this person will not be admitted. When I say admitted, whenever a person is coming to the United States and you are subjected to primary inspection, if need be, secondary inspection, basically at the time of facing the CBP officer, you are making your application for admission to the United States. So, if the officer is satisfied, he allows you to be admitted. Otherwise, if the admission is denied, the person can go back.
Is there any appeal at the border? I mean, you have this one government official who might be a GS 10, you know, and he might be new on the job, and he might not know how the roses grow. Is there any appeal to a supervisor at that point in time?
You know, of course, you can definitely ask for the supervisor so that you can explain your situation to the supervisor. I agree with you. Sometimes CBP officers who are standing at the border, maybe they are new recruits. They went through some kind of orientation program for a few weeks, maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and they are positioned there and they do not have much experience. It might happen. It's always a good idea to ask for the supervisor. There is no appeal process like you file some paperwork, nothing like works at the airport. But of course, you ask for the supervisor, and if supervisor understands your situation, then probably that's the best way you can help yourself. And we already said that there is no right to ask for the attorney's representation at the port of entry. There is no right. So basically, you have to be fully trained to handle the situation by yourself.
What advice do you have for people when they're coming in that they should be forearmed, fully trained? What should they know, study in order to be able to effectively come in?
So first of all, if the intent of the person is true and that person is not lying or misrepresentation, in the first place that person will not have any problems. But if the evidence which is available on his person or in his bags or in his laptop, which would demonstrate that the intent of the person which is demonstrated here is different, because this is how it is supported by documentation and other evidence, so that person will be in trouble. So my advice to traveler is, don't misrepresent, don't misrepresent. Don't carry any evidence which goes against your statements, and make sure whatever statements you made to the US consulate for applying your visa, these are the similar statements, because during secondary inspection, CBP officer is going to access those records and find out what statements did you make at the US consulate and what statements you are making now.
Very good, very good. I think those are wise words of advice to people, and that they'd be very smart, you know, to follow them.
Yes.
I'd like to thank you for coming on in, and I'd like to thank our audience for joining us on the Capitol Forum.
Thank you. And last word, if you have any questions, please talk to your competent immigration attorney. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.